and through we tell the story of that man, skilled in all ways of contending, a wonder, harrying for years on end.
From Amherst, Massachusetts, the fine people at Papio Daniel Flour present the Papio Daniel Flour Hour. Remember, when you're fixing to fry up some flapjacks or bake a mess of biscuits, use cool, clear water and good, pure Papio Daniel flour for that pasta biscuit pappy flavor. Thank you for joining us from your homes and in our studio audience tonight. This week's installment of Brother Where Art Thou will kick off just a few moments. But until then, why don't you take this time to sing along with Papio? This land is your land.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. As I was walking down the River Highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Islands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there. And on the sign it said no trespassing, but on the other side it didn't say nothing. That sign was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Islands, to the Redwood Forest, to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me.
Tonight's installment, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, features the talented voice cast of Billy Lyle James Carter, Craig Flanderson, Enoch Ezekiel Puckett, Dirk Domino Honeysuckle, Delilah Montgomery, Walden Bird, Dottie Foster, Chester Grandin, Melissa Jane Travers, Llewellyn Proxy Jr., the wonderful people of Mama's Marmalade over there. And yours truly, Devin Gallagher. Now, please take a moment to turn off or shut up any noisemakers. In case of an emergency, please follow the instructions of our wonderful house staff, who I believe will be myself and maybe Mr. Puckett over here. And please, none of that new flash photography nonsense. We invite those in our studio audience today to put on their eye masks to enjoy the full radio experience. Feel free to take them off at any time, especially during our commercial breaks. Now, we go to the land of Mississippi, where the Great Depression has certainly taken its toll. Listen in, and you may be able to hear the old chain gang at work. I wouldn't want to be them right now, working out there in that weather. No, thank you, sir. And you know, there were 3 men on this chain gang who did not want to be there neither. Chained together with their hand and feet, they had enough and up and RUNNOFT right in the midday sun. Yes, sirree, they were headed to that big rock candy mountain. Off they ran through field and forest, catching their own food and evading the police that were on their tail. Eventually, they thought it might be best to elect a leader to keep from running in circles and whatnot.
Wait a minute. Who elected you leader of this outfit?
That was Pete. He's the brawn of the bunch.
Well, Pete, I just figured it should be the one with the capacity for abstract thought. But if that ain't the consensus view, hell, let's put it to a vote.
That's Ulysses Everett McGill. He likes to think he's the brains.
Suits me. I'm voting for yours truly.
Well, I'm voting for yours truly, too.
At a dead tie, the result of their election lay entirely on the shoulders of Delmer. He wasn't the shiniest tool in the shed, but he was nice.
Okay, I'm with you fellas.
Their leadership quit was cut short by the sound of police dogs moving through the forest, and off they ran again. They would have been goners, too, if it weren't for an old man on a railroad pushcart. An old blind man who would change their lives forever.
Mind if we join you, old-timer?
Join me, my sons.
You work for the railroad, Grandpa?
I work for no man. Got a name, do you? I have no name.
Well, that right there may be why you've had difficulty finding gainful employment. You see, in the mart of competitive commerce,
You seek a great fortune. You three who are now in chains. And you will find a fortune, though it will not be the fortune you seek. But first you must travel a long and difficult road. A road fraught with peril and pregnant with adventure. You shall see things wonderful to tell. You shall see a cow on the roof of a cotton house, and oh, so many startlements. I cannot say how long this road shall be, but fear not the obstacles in your path, for fate has vouchsafed your reward. And though the road may wind and yea, your hearts grow weary, still shall ye follow the way, even unto your salvation. Is that clear?
It wasn't clear, but the prisoners weren't worried. No, sir, they rode on that rail car past the sound of the hounds who had caught on to their scent and all the way down through the state of Mississippi. Eventually, the time came to get off that old cart and get to walking. They just about made it to their destination, Pete's cousin's house, to get rid of their chains, but a small obstacle stood in their path.
Hold it right there!
A very small obstacle. A boy no older than 8 with a gun pointed right at them.
You men from the bank?
You Walsh's boy?
Yes, sir. And Daddy told me I'm to shoot who's ever from the bank.
Well, we ain't from no bank, young fella.
Yes, sir. I'm also supposed to shoot those who are in papers.
Well, we ain't got no papers.
Yes, sir. I nicked the census man.
There's a good boy. Is your daddy about?
He was, and what an exciting reunion it was for Pete and his cousin Wash Hogwaller.
How you been, Walsh? Been what, 12, 13 years in?
You've grown, Chatty. I expect you'll want them chains knocked off.
And so they spent the night at the Hogwaller residence in the loft of a big barn, listening to the Calio Daniel flower heard just like you folks. Stay tuned after this quick break for a word from our sponsors to see what comes from our friends on the front. Don't you dare cut that dial, and we'll be right back with more Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
For the finest pomade your hard-earned money can buy, try Dapper Dan. It's the lady's choice.
Cracker Jacks are the Cracker Jack that start things around. Buy yourself a box and support the good folks that make our radio broadcast possible. With a prize in every box, you can't beat the down-home taste of Cracker Jacks.
Welcome back to tonight's broadcast of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? We last left our three friends on the residence of Pete's cousin Wash Hogwaller, who agreed to let them stay the night. Unfortunately, the Great Depression was hard on everyone in the South, and the bounty on their heads was too much to pass up for old Wash. The prisoners awoke in the night to the sound of fire burning down below.
Damn, we're in a tight spot. I'm gonna kill you, Judas Iscariot Hogwaller, you miserable, horse-eating son of a bitch, you! Damn, we're in a tight spot.
You boys are leaving us no choice but to smoke you out.
That was Sheriff Cooley, and he was bad, bad news.
What do we do now, Everett?
Fire? I hate fire. Now hold on, boys. Ain't you never heard of negotiation? You lousy, yellow-bellied, low-down scums! Now hold on, people. We gotta speak with one voice here. Oh, careful with that fire now, boys!
You choose it, boys. It's the prison bomb or the pearly gates.
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
Things looked awful grim for our friends in that barn until out of nowhere, a familiar face drove right in the burning barn in a shower of sparks.
Come on, boys. I'm gonna RUNNOFT.
And in the car they went and backed straight out of that burning barn just in time for it to collapse altogether. Quicker in a flash, the car disappeared, and once more our friends outran the long legs of the law. And after kindly asking the young Pop-Wallet to borrow the car,
You candy buttered car thieving so's and so's. I curse your name.
they were off on their way to treasure and glory. That was until their escape vehicle had other plans. But luckily a little trading post was in sight, and there's a good shot that they would carry the car park needed to continue the adventure.
I can get the part from Bristol. It'll take 2 weeks. Here's your pomade.
2 weeks. That don't do me no good.
The nearest Ford Auto Man's in Bristol.
Hold on there. I don't want this pomade. I want Dapper Dan.
I don't carry Dapper Dan. I carry Fuck.
No, I don't want fuck. God damn it, I use Dapper Dan. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
And y'all should be too. Tonight's show is brought to you in part by the good folks at
What's your language, young fella? This is a public market. Now, if you want a Dapper Dan, I can order it for you. Have it in a couple weeks.
Well, ain't this place a geographical oddity? 2 weeks from everywhere. Forget it. Just the dozen hairnets.
Out of luck for both car and hair, Everett repeatedly went back to Pete and Delmer and roasted something delicious over a campfire out back.
Go for Everett.
You know, it didn't look like a one-horse town. But try getting a decent hair jelly. No transmission belt for 2 weeks neither.
Huh? They dammed that river on the 21st. Today's the 17th.
Don't I know it?
We got about 4 days to get that treasure. After that, it'll be at the bottom of the lake. We ain't gonna make it walking.
Go for Everett.
Well, you're right there, Pete. But the old tactician's already got a plan.
And he pulled a beautiful golden watch from his pocket, looking it over in all its glory.
At least for the transportation, that is. I don't know how I'm gonna get my coiffeur in order.
How's this a plan? How are we gonna get a car?
We sell it.
But where'd it come from?
It was in the bureau back at your cousin's. I reckon it'll fetch us enough cash for a good use out of a church. Maybe a little left over besides.
You got light fingers, Everett. Go for it.
You miserable little sneak thief. You stole from my kid.
Who was fixing to betray us?
You didn't know that at the time.
So I borrowed it till I did know.
That don't make no sense.
Pete, it's a fool looks for logic in the chambers of the human heart.
What
the hell's that singing?
Who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down. Let's go down. Come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down. Down in the river to pray.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was a great group of people, all dressed in white, singing and
Studying about that good old
the same place.
Who shall wear the robe and crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down. Let's go down. Come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down. Down in the river to pray.
The prisoners were stunned, near speechless at the sight and sound of it all.
Studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown?
Preacher
Good
came amongst the
Lord,
singers,
show me
and he went
the
into the
way.
river, and everyone followed him.
Oh,
Winding
brothers, let's go down. Let's go down. Don't you wanna come down? Oh, mothers, let's go down. Down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray. As I went down in the river to pray. And studying about that good old way. And Lord, show me the robe and crown. Good Lord. sun went down and the river told gray, and studying about that good old way. Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down. Let's go down. Come on down. Come on, brothers, let's go down. Down in the river to pray.
Once Delmer figured out what's going on, he just had to join in. Off he ran into the river, straight into the preacher, eased him back in the water. See the ritual.
Good Lord, show me the way.
Well, I'll be a son of a bitch. Delmer's been saved.
Pete, don't be ignorant.
Then Delmer, soaking wet, slogged through the water and approached the prisoners.
Well, that's it, boys. I've been redeemed. The preacher washed away all my sins and transgressions. It's the straight and narrow from here on out, and heaven everlasting's my reward.
Delmer, what the hell are you talking about? We got bigger fish to fry.
The preacher said my sins are washed away, including that Piggly Wiggly I knocked over in Yazoo.
I thought you said you were innocent of those charges.
Well, I was lying. And I'm proud to say that that sin's been washed away too. Neither God nor man's got nothing on me now. Come on in, boys. The water is fine.
Pete found the water was fine indeed when he spontaneously jumped right in and was himself saved. It wasn't long until our friends were back on the road in a newly bought old car.
Preacher said it absolved us.
For him, not for the law. I'm surprised at you, Pete. Hell, I gave you credit for more brains than Delmer. Even if it did put you square with the Lord, the state of Mississippi is more hard-nosed.
You should have joined us, Everett. It couldn't have hurt none.
Hell, at least it would have washed away the stick of that palm, eh?
Join you two ignorant fools in ridiculous superstition. Thank you anyway. And I like the smell of my hair treatment. The pleasing odor is half the point. Baptism. You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers. Well, I guess you're my cross to bear.
He saw the townlands and learned the minds of many distant men, and weathered many bitter nights and days in his deep-hearted sea, while he fought only to save his life, to bring his shipmates home, but not by will or valor could he save.
Driving down the road, our friends came across a radio station building advertising money to singing groups who come and sing into a can. The station being our very own, as a matter of fact, WEZY. Listening ain't never been so easy, nor so fine. Upon entering the radio station, the men were greeted by a blind man at a work desk.
Who's the honcho around here?
I am. Who are you?
Well, sir, my name is Jordan Rivers, and these here are the Soggy Bottom Boys out of Cottonelia, Mississippi. Songs of the salvation to salve the soul. We hear you pay good money to sing into a can.
Well, that all depends. You boys do Negro songs?
Everett looked to his friends, unsure of what to say.
Sir, we are Negroes.
Well, I don't record Negro songs. I'm looking for some old-timey material. People just can't get enough of it since we started broadcasting the Happy O'Daniel Flower Hour, so thanks for stopping by, but...
Sir, the Soggy Bottom Boys have been steeped in old-timey material. Heck, you're silly with it, ain't you, boys?
That's right. That's right. We ain't really Negroes.
Passing sorrow through his days. I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised, the place where he was born and raised. For 6 long years I've been in trouble, but pleasures here on earth I found. More in
and think I'm just a stranger, a face you never will see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Singing. You just sign these papers and I'll give you $10 apiece.
Okay, sir. But Mert and Aloysius will have to scratch X's. Only 3 of us can ride.
And as they left the station bursting with joy, they happened upon a large, well-dressed man and his 3 cronies who just happened to be walking in. The man passed the biscuits Papio Daniel himself, and the cronies, his son Junior, and 2 guys named Spivey and Edgar, origins unknown.
Hey, mister, I don't mean to be telling tales out of a school, but there's a man in there hands out $10 to anyone sings into his can.
I'm not here to make a record, you dumb cracker. They broadcast me out the radio.
That's Governor Menelaus, Pass the Biscuits Papio Daniel. And he sure appreciated it if you ate his farina and voted him a 2nd term.
Finest governor we've ever had in Mississippi.
In any state.
Oh, Lord, yes. Any parish or precinct, I was making the larger points.
Ain't you gonna press the flesh, Pappy? Do a little politicking?
I'll press your flesh, you dim-witted son of a bitch. You don't tell your pappy how to call the electric. We ain't one at a time in here. We mass communicate.
Oh, yes, that's a powerful new force.
Shake a leg, Junior. Thank God your mama died giving birth. She was without shame.
Pappy was a nice man deep down. Probably. His rival in the election was a fellow by the name of Homer Stokes, who had his share of followers.
Don't be sacked for Pappy, vote for Stokes and responsible government.
Vote for Stokes. Clean government is yours for the asking.
We'll get to know Mr. Stokes a little bit later. And we'll be right back with more Old Brother Where Art Thou? After this quick break, ladies and gentlemen, the WECY Band Mama's Marmalade with All Fly Away.
Fly
Once again, we'd like to thank the good people at Cracker Jacks for their sponsorship of our show. If they aren't Cracker Jacks, they aren't worth eating. And once again, to the fine people at Dapper Dan, it's non-toxic. We hope, brother, where art thou? When we last left off, the police were still on the trail of our three friends, but we won't worry too much about them right now. They're a long ways back, long ways away, as far as evidence is concerned, that is. And as our adventurers wandered in search of their elusive treasure, they had no idea that the song they recorded to make a little extra money was becoming the most popular record in the South. Man of Constant Sorrow was flying off the shelves in every store around for miles, absolutely unknown to them. Maybe they'll figure it out eventually, but a distant sound caught their ears while driving down the road, and Pete especially found it hard to concentrate on anything else.
Pull over! Guess old Pete's got the itch. All right, pull over.
Pete bolted from the car and flashed and searched the noise. It got louder and louder, and every Delver just had to follow him too.
Everybody's gone in the cotton and the corn. Didn't leave nobody but the babe.
Through the bush they went and came across a clearing in the woods. A shallow river with 3 large boulders stuck in it. And on each boulder a gorgeous woman washing clothes.
Honey and the rock and the sugar don't stop. Gonna bring a bottle to the babe. Don't you weep, pretty babe. Don't you weep, pretty babe. Don't you weep, pretty babe. Don't you weep, pretty. She's long gone with her red shoes on. Gonna need another loving babe.
The song was beautiful, and the prisoners were drawn to the women like moths to flame.
Go to sleep, you and me and the devil makes 3. Don't need no other loving babe.
And just like that, practically hypnotized, the 3 prisoners fell asleep. Delmer never woke up sometime later, still in a trance, in awe of what had happened with the ladies on the river, who were nowhere to be found. Only one thing was wrong.
Holy St. Christopher! Oh, sweet Lord Aaron, look at this!
All laid out before them were Pete's clothes, as if he had been melted into the night like he was made of ice. Delmer was horrified, and his horror only grew when a little frog popped out from inside Pete's shirt.
Sweet Jesus, Everett!
The frog hopped away as if it had somewhere to be.
Them sirens done this to Pete. They luffed him up and they turned him into a horny toad. That's Pete.
It took a while, but he caught him. Them frogs are slippery creatures. Back on the road and famished, the boys stopped to grab a bite to eat in a very fine restaurant, bringing Pete the toad with them.
Order up.
I'm not sure that's Pete.
Of course it's Pete, look at him.
I'm just not sure that's Pete. But at any rate, you can't display a toad in a fine restaurant like this.
I just don't think it's right keeping him under wraps like we's ashamed of him.
Well, if that is Pete, I am ashamed of him. The way I see it, he got what he deserved. Fornicating with some whore of Babylon. These things just don't happen for no reason, Delmer. Obviously, it's some kind of judgment on Pete's character.
The 2 of us was fixing to fornicate.
Don't believe I've seen you boys around here before.
A big man with a booming voice wearing a very nice white suit and matching white eye patch approached them and sat himself down.
Allow me to introduce myself. Name of Daniel Teague, known at these precincts as Big Dan Teague, or, to those who press for time, Big Dan.
How do you do, Big Dan? I'm Ulysses Everett McGill. This is my associate Delmer O'Donnell. I sense that, like me, you are endowed with the gift of gab.
I flatter myself that such is the case. In my line of work, it's plumb necessary. The one thing you don't want is air in the conversation.
What kind of work do you do, Big Dan?
Sales, Mr. McGill, sales. And what do I sell? The truth. Every blessed word of it, from Genesis on down to Revelation. That's right, the Word of God, which, let me add, there is damn good money in there in these days of woe and want. Folks are looking for answers, and Big Dan Teague sells the only book that's got 'em. What do, you and your tongue-tied friend?
We're adventurers, sir. Currently pursuing a certain opportunity, but open to others as well.
I like your style, man, so I'm going to propose you a proposition. Cover my check so I don't have to run back up to my room, have your waitress wrap your dinner picnic style, and we'll retire to more private environs. Well, I will explain to you how vast amounts of money can be made in the service of God Almighty.
And so they did. And just like that, Everett, Delmer, Frog, and Big Dan were off. But at the very same time, in the very same restaurant, another much more political conversation was taking place.
Languishing. Our campaign is languishing. We need a shot in the arm. Hear me, boys? In the arm. Election out tomorrow, that Stokes would win in a walk.
He's a reform candidate, Daddy. People like that reform. Maybe we should get us some.
Is that the best idea any of you boys can come up with? Reform. We've been Jesus on the cross. I heard you may as well start drafting my concession speech right now.
Okay, Pappy.
I'm just making a point, stupid.
Oh, okay, Pappy.
Meanwhile, the Wilds drive away in the more private environs. Big Dan was doing a whole lot more than selling Bibles. He broke the limb off a nearby tree and was going to town on our adventures.
It's all about money, boys. That's the answer. Do, re, mi. Do unto others before they can do unto you. I'll just take your show cards and whatever's in that box of yours.
No, you can't!
But just like that, Big Dan swiped Delmer's box away and opened it to find just a toad.
It's just a toad. These things give you warts.
He didn't really know it was Pete.
And the car as well. So long, boys. See you in the buddy papers.
Delmer was devastated at the loss of his friend, while Everett was devastated at the loss of his car. Little did Delmer know that Pete was still 100% alive, only in not so good shape.
No!
Sheriff Cooley had him now, and he wanted answers that Pete refused to give.
Where are they? Where are they headed?
No!
Your screams ain't gonna save your flesh, only your tongue is, boy!
Cooley hung the noose on a nearby tree and pushed Pete toward it. One of his men fitted it around his neck.
You've made your choice then. Stairway to heaven, Pete. We shall all meet by and by.
God forgive me!
And we'll be right back with more
Tonight's show is brought to you in part by the good people at Sudzo Suds. Sudzo Suds will get your dishes cleaner than ever before using the miracle of soap. No other sud compares to the suds the folks at Sudzo Suds have dreamed up. Just think of them as little flakes of heaven. We here at Jumping Easy Y are eternally grateful to our friends at Sudzo Suds for their contributions to tonight's production. Buy along today and experience the Sudzo Suds difference. Remember, they're not real suds unless they're Sudzo Suds by Sudzo.
And welcome back to Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? If you're just joining us, welcome to the Papio Daniel Flower Hour. During the commercial break, it seems our friends hitched a ride on a hay wagon riding through a dirt road where worked a chain gang with a familiar face splitting rocks on it.
Pete has a brother?
Not that I'm aware.
And that was that. Sooner than they knew, they were in Everett's hometown, where they stumbled upon a rally held by certain anti-Pappy political candidates.
And I say to you that the great state of Mississippi cannot afford 4 more years of Pappy O'Daniel. 4 more years of cronyism, nepotism, rascalism,
Pappy O'Daniel, slave of the interest. Homer Stokes, servant of the little man. Ain't that right, little fella?
He ain't lying.
When the little man says jump, Homer Stokes says how high. And ladies and gentlemen, the little man has admonished me to grasp the broom or reform and sweep this state clean. It's going to be back to the flour mill, Pappy. The interest can take care of themselves.
That's right.
Come Tuesday, we going to sweep the rascals out. Clean gummy. Yours for the accident. And now, the little Warby gals. What you got for us, darlings?
In the highways.
That's fine.
Warvy gals? Did he just say little Warvy gals?
You know that means everything.
In the highways, in the hedges, in the highways, in the hedges, in the highways, in the hedges. I'll be somewhere working for my Lord. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working for my Lord. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working for my Lord. If he calls me, I will answer. If he calls me, I will answer. If he calls me, I will answer. I'll be somewhere working for my Lord. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working for my Lord. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working. I'll be somewhere working for my Lord.
And after their song, they spied a familiar face in the crowd.
Daddy!
He ain't our daddy.
Hell, I ain't. What's this Warvy gals? Your name's McGill.
No, sir. Not since you got hit by a train.
What are you talking about? I wasn't hit by any train.
Mama said you was hit by a train.
Blue! Nothing left.
Just a grease spot on the L&N.
Damn it! I've never been hit by any train.
That's right. So Mom has got us back to Warby.
That's a maiden name.
You got a maiden name, Daddy?
No, Daddy ain't got a maiden name. You see,
Well, that's your misfortune.
That's right. Now Mom's got a new beau. He's a suitor.
yeah, I know about that.
Mama says he's bona fide.
He give her a ring?
Yes, sir. Big.
Got a gem.
Mama checked it. It's bona fide.
He is a suitor.
What's his name?
Vernon T. Waldron.
Uncle Vernon.
Till tomorrow.
Daddy's gonna be Daddy.
I'm the only darn daddy you got. I'm the darn paterfamilias.
Yeah, but you ain't bona fide.
Where's your mama?
She's at the 5 and Dime buying nipples.
Ever went to the store looking for her, worked up in a bit of a rage. Sure enough, there she was shopping around and with a baby in hand.
Who is that baby?
Starla Warby.
This woman's name was Penny. Used to be married to Everett until the whole prison ordeal.
Starla McGill, you mean? How come you never told me about her?
Because he was hit by a train.
And it's another thing. Why are you telling our gals I was hit by a train?
A lot of respectable people have been hit by trains. Judge Harvey over in Cookville was hit by a train. What was I supposed to tell him? That you was sent to a penal farm and I divorced you from shame?
Well, I take your point, but it leaves me in an awkward position vis-a-vis my progeny.
Low panic. This gentleman bothering you?
This was Waldrop, Penny's new fiancé, a gangly man in a straw bowler hat.
You, Waldrop.
That's right.
Well, I got news for you in case you hadn't noticed. I wasn't hit by a train.
Oh.
And I've traveled many a weary mile to be back with my wife and 6 daughters.
That ain't your daddy, Elvinell. Your daddy was hit by a train.
Now, Penny, stop that.
No, you stop it. Vernon here's got a job. Vernon's got prospects. He's bona fide. What are you?
I'll tell you what I am. I'm the paterfamilias. You can't marry him.
I can, and I am, and I will. Tomorrow. I gotta think about the little Warby gals. They look to me for answers. Vernon can support him and buy lessons on the clarinet. The only good thing you ever did for the gals was get hit by that train.
Oh, why, you lying, unconstant succubus.
You can't swear at my fiancée.
Oh, yeah? Well, you can't marry my wife.
It only took a second for Everett to realize that he was not mentally or physically ready for the fight that Waldrop was willing to put up. But when he did, he sure learned his lesson well.
And stay out of Woolworths.
Defeated and in need of a new plan, the pair dusted themselves off and went across the street to the town movie theater. But Everett had a hard time focusing on the film.
Deceitful, two-faced she-woman. Never trust a female, Delmer. Oh, remember that one simple precept, and your time with me will not have been ill spent.
Okay, Everett.
Hit by a train? Truth means nothing to women, Delmer. Triumph of the subjective. You ever been with a woman?
Well, I gotta get the family farm back before I can start thinking about that.
Well, that's right, if then. Believe me, Delmer, women is the most fiendish instrument of torture ever devised to bedevil the days of man.
Everett, I never figured you for a paterfamilias.
No. Yes, I spread my seed. You've seen what it's earned me.
But then the movie stopped and the lights in the theater came on. A large group of prisoners dressed in stripes and gentlemen, changed the hands of the walked in, guided by several officers, and sat down right behind Everett and Delmer. The movie resumed, but a familiar voice could not keep quiet behind them.
Pete, they're fixing an ambush. Do not seek the treasure. Pete, do not seek the treasure.
Right, man. Watch a picture.
We thought you was a toad. We're gonna get you out of prison, Pete. You gotta be with us. Do not seek the treasure. Do
What,
not.
man?
And sure enough, later that night, Everett and Delmer busted out of prison and went back on the road to their treasure. But we'll get back to them in a minute. Let's check back in on Pappy and his campaign.
I signed that bill. I signed a dozen of those agriculture bills. Everyone knows I'm a friend of the farmer. What do I gotta do? Start diddling the livestock?
We can't do that, Daddy. We might offend our constituency.
We ain't got a constituency. Stokes got a constituency.
Them straw poles is ugly.
Stokes is pulling our pants down.
Gonna pluck us off the tip.
Pappy gonna be sitting there, pants down, and Stokes at the table, sucking at the gravy.
Latch right on that tip.
Wiping little circles with his bread.
Circle away.
Well, it's a well-run campaign, midget, broom, and whatnot.
Devil is due.
Hell of organization.
Say, I got an idea.
What's that, Junior?
We could hire us a little fella even smaller than Stokes's.
You're an ignorant, slow-shouldered sack of guts. Why, we look like a bunch of Johnny-come-latelys bragging on our own midget. No matter how stumpy. That's the problem right there. People think this Stokes got fresh ideas. So current and we the past.
Problem of perception.
That's right.
Reason why he's pulling our pants down.
Gonna paddle a little behind.
Ain't gonna paddle it, he's gonna kick it real hard.
With his mouth forming an O around his drooping cigar, Pappy looked sadly from one to the other, like a spectator in a particularly boring tennis match.
No, I believe he's gonna paddle it.
Well now, I don't believe that's a proper description.
Well, that's how I characterize it.
Well, I believe it's more of a kicking situation.
Pulling the pants down.
Wiping little circles with his brain.
I hope it all works out for Pappy and his campaign, but let's catch up a bit with our friends on the road.
We didn't abandon you, Pete. We just thought you was a toad.
No, they never did turn me into a toad.
Well, that was our mistake then. And then we was beat up by a Bible salesman and banished from Woolworths. I don't know if it's the one branch or all of them.
Well, I ain't had it easy, boys, either. Frankly, I spilled my guts about the treasure. I'm awful sorry I betrayed you fellas. Must be my hog wall of blood.
That's all right, Pete.
Oh, it's awful wide of you to take it like that, Everett. I feel wretched spoiling your play for $1 million, point two. It's been eating away at my guts.
Oh, that's all right.
You boys is true friends. You're my boon companions.
He hugged them both and knew never who was made profoundly uncomfortable.
Pete, I don't want you to beat yourself up about this thing.
I can't help it. But that's a wonderful thing to say.
Well, but Pete, well, the fact of the matter is, well, there ain't no treasure. Fact of the matter, there never was.
But
So, where's all the money from your armored car job?
I never knocked over any armored car. I was sent up for practicing law without a license. Damn it, I had to bust out. My wife wrote me she was getting married. I gotta stop it.
no treasure. I had 2 weeks left on my sentence.
I couldn't wait 2 weeks. She's getting married tomorrow.
He added time for the escape. I don't get out now until 1987. I'll be 84 years old.
I guess they'll tack on 50 years for me, too.
Boys, he was chained together. I had to tell you something. Busting out alone was not an option.
84 years old.
I'll only be 82.
He plunged at Everett in a fit of frenzy.
You ruined my life!
Pete, I do apologize.
84 years old? I'll be coming pabulum!
I just gotta put a stop to this wedding is all. Her and her new man are gonna be at the campaign event at Town Hall tonight. Boys, I know I made some tactical mistakes, but if you'll just stick with me, I need your help. And I've got a plan. Believe me, boys, we can fix this thing. I can get my wife back. We can get out of here.
That Ulysses Everett McGill truly did have a way with words. The whole town was going to be at the town event that night, including Pappy and his crew who were making one last attempt to salvage their campaign.
I'm saying we hire this man away.
Ooh, that's a good idea, Pappy.
Hell of an idea.
Can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Have them join us, run our campaign instead of that pencil things.
Enticements of power, wealth, etc.
No one says no to Pappy O'Daniel.
Oh, gracious, no. Not with his blandishments.
Power is persuasion.
What's his name again?
Campaign manager, Waldron.
Vernon. Walgreens.
Vernon T. Waldron.
It's folks from out Tuscarora?
Tuscarora? Might be. I believe they is.
Not a doubt in my mind.
You don't know where his goddamn folks from. Speaking out so real.
Well, now, Pappy, I wouldn't put it that strong, but perhaps you're right.
And so they ended the town hall event, and what an event it was! After speaking in the service entrance to the event, Everett thought of some note even further guarantee their entry inside. All clad in beards and old overalls, they stood on stage.
Excuse me. We're the next act.
Different my beard inches.
This is crazy. No one's ever gonna believe we're a real band.
Oh, yeah? You'll take that back in just a minute. Show him, Delmer.
Well, all right.
Delmer took center stage. He'd never been more composed or calm as he turned to the instrumentalist behind him and said,
In the jailhouse now, fellas. Never gonna be. I had a friend named the Rambling Mile who used to steal, gamble, and rob. He thought he was the swellest guy around. But I found out last Monday that Bob got locked up Sunday. They got him in the jailhouse way downtown. He's in the jailhouse now. He's in the jailhouse now. Well, I told him once or twice to stop playing cards and shooting dice. He's in the jailhouse now. jailhouse now. He's in the jailhouse now. Well, I told him once or twice to stop playing cards and to shooting dice. He's in the jailhouse now.
Now that we got the masses on our side, I've just got to get close enough to talk to my wife. Taking off with us has got a lot more future in it than marrying a guy named Waldrip. I'm goddamn bona fide. Psst. Penny! Hey! Up here! Penny! It's me!
Go away.
No! Penny, listen! We're leaving the state, pursuing opportunities in another venue. I'm gonna be a dentist. I know a guy who'll print me up a license. I want to be where you want me to be, honey. I want you and the gals to come with me. They're my daughters, Penny. I'm the king of this castle.
Across the room, two other parties were meeting with animosity in the air.
What are you doing here, Pappy? I guess someone let on there was free liquor.
Yeah, you'll be laughing out the other side of your face come November.
Happy old game, happy man.
Not out the other side of his face, though.
Oh, just the regular side.
Boy, Pete, looks like Everett's having a tough time convincing his missus.
Well, we gotta keep that music rolling. What say you we pull out that one with the band in the can?
I think we can do that.
In constant sorrow all through his day.
Oh, stop! During the song, his campaign manager, Waldrip, and his soon-to-be new husband, recognized Everett and told Stokes, who wanted to make darn sure that they got sent back to where they came from.
These boys are convicts, fugitives, folks, escaped off the farm. Folks, these boys gotta be remanded to authorities, criminals. Is you is or is you ain't my constituency? Is you is or is you ain't?
Some men burst through the door with a railroad tie in their arms, and it's the God's honest truth when I tell you that Homer Stokes was kicked out of his own campaign rally, rode out on a rail. Ain't that something? And because of that happening, the Soggy Bottom Boys could continue their song to the joyous crowd.
Everywhere my whole lumber, I never expect to see you again. By that northern railroad, perhaps all
seize the microphone.
Ladies and gentlemen, here and listening at home, the great state of Mississippi, Pappy O'Daniel, Governor, thanks the Soggy Bottom Boys for that wonderful performance. Now, it looks like the only man in our great state who ain't a music lover is my esteemed opponent in the upcoming Home Stokes. Yeah, well, there ain't no accounting for taste. It sounded to me like he harbored some sort of hateful grudge against the Soggy Bottom Boys on account of their rough and rowdy past. Sounds like Home Stokes is the kind of fella gonna cast the first stone. Well, I'm with you folks. I'm a forgiving, good Christian, and I say, well, if their rambunctiousness and misdemeanoring is behind them, it is, ain't it, boys?
Sure is, Governor.
Why, then I say, by the power vested in me, these boys is hereby pardoned. And furthermore, in the second Pappy O'Daniel administration, why, these boys is gonna be my brain trust.
What exactly does that mean, Everett? Well, you, me, and Pete are going to be the power behind the throne, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
So, without further ado, and by way of endorsing my candidacy, the Soggy Bottom Boys is going to lead us all in a chorus of You Are My Sunshine. Ain't you, boys?
Governor, that's one of our favorites.
Son, you're going to go far.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. The other night, dear, as I was sleeping, I dreamt I had you by my side. When I woke up, I was mistaken. Though I ain't right. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You told me once, dear, you really love me, and all else could come between. And now you left me to have another, and you shattered all my
Once more with feeling.
you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine
Yes, sir, it seemed things was going to be okay for our friends, treasure or no treasure. Peggy even got back with Everett. There was a slight catch, though. She wanted her wedding ring back, and the wedding ring was in a roll-top desk all the way back at Everett's old family home, a little cabin in the valley. Of course, he took Pete and Dumper along to keep him company on the long journey, but when they got to the cabin, they saw the most unwelcome of sights. Sheriff Cooley standing there next to three freshly dug graves, and outside of the graves, 3 wood coffins, and on the tree that once held Everett's child, strings swung 3 nooses.
End of the road, boys. It's had its twists and turns, but now it deposits you here. Wait a minute. You have eluded fate and eluded me for the last time.
You can't do this. We just been pardoned by the governor himself.
It went out over the radio.
Is that right? Too bad we don't have a radio.
God have mercy! It ain't the law.
The law? Well, the
recognize us poor sinners. Please, Lord, I just want to see my daughters again. Oh, Lord, I've been separated from my family for so long. Please, Lord, help us. Please help us.
And not 10 seconds after Everett finished his prayer, there was a great rumbling from down the valley. And it got louder, louder, louder until the giant wall of water that was headed their way was visible. Yes, this was the day the electric companies were going to flood the entire valley, and that's exactly what they did. Fully swept the impact and gone for good. Everett, Pete, and Young were also carried away along the cabin, the trophies, the trees, everything. It barely took any time at all to flood the entire valley, and the three rose to the surface onto the new lake, floating on whatever they could grab a hold of. Everett on a table, Pete on a branch, and Delmer on a roll-top desk. And darned if they didn't witness a full-bodied cow on the roof of a flooded cotton house.
A miracle! It was a miracle! Ah, don't be ignorant, Delmer. I told you they was gonna flood this valley.
That ain't it. We prayed to God and He pitied us.
It just never fails. Once again, you two hayseeds are showing how much you want for intellect. There's a perfectly scientific explanation for what just happened.
That ain't the tune you were singing back there at the gallows.
Well, any human being will cast about in a moment of stress. No, the fact is, they're flooding this valley so they can hydroelectric up the whole darn state. Yes, sir. The South is going to change. Everything's going to be put on electricity and run on a paying basis. Out with the old spiritual mumbo-jumbo, the superstitions, and the backward ways. We're going to see a brave new world where they run everyone a wire and hook us all up to a grid. Yes, sir. A veritable age of reason, like the one they had in France. Not a moment too soon.
And let me tell you, never was a man happier to return home than Ulysses ever Begill later that day. It seemed that everything worked out pretty fine for our friends after the whole ordeal.
That's not my ring.
Not. You said it was in the roll-top desk.
I said I thought it was in the roll-top desk.
You
Or
said...
it might have been under the mattress.
You-
Or in my chiffonier, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, honey.
Well, we need that ring.
Well, now, honey, that ring is at the bottom of a pretty darn big lake.
Uh-huh.
A 9,000 hectare lake, honey.
I don't care if it's 90,000.
Yes, but honey.
That wasn't my doing.
Of course not, honey, but finding one little ring in the middle of all that water, that is one heck of a heroic task.
He yielded to her, and his heart was glad. Both parties later swore to terms of peace, set by their arbiter, who bears the storm cloud as a shield, though still she kept the form and voice of a mentor.
So nearly all was well at the end of their journey, and what a journey it was. Not to mention that Papio Daniel came away victorious as it was always meant to be. We, the performers of Oh Brother Where Art Thou, would like to thank you for tuning in and joining us for the Papio Daniel Flower Hour, and hope you will again next